And you sure need some insurance on all that you got there.
Welcome back, Stockwell Eldridge Show. I'm Jason Stockwell with Remax Results. We're jamming out here. We've got some great tunage going. We have Stephanie Havel with Wells Fargo back.
Good morning. Yep, Wells Fargo Home Mortgage. Stephanie, thank you.
Birthday month for Stephanie we talked about in the last segment. And we have Ryan Larson and Vicki Swenson here. Vicki with MinnesotaMold.com, right? Or MNMold.com. If you have any questions about mold, if you've been putting it off, it's one of those things where maybe you've noticed it in your house, you noticed the smell or the mustiness, or you just normalized the smell or the mustiness in your basement or in your bathroom or where have you, and if you have a family or for your own health and for your family's health or for your guests' health or whoever, your pet's health, you should probably check it out and have someone come and do an evaluation on it. The testing itself is not super expensive as far as getting the test and seeing or tests to see where it is and what it is and what type of mold it is. And I think it takes about a week or so to get that back,
Yeah,
right,
that was going to be
Vicki?
my question. How long does the test take, and then how long does it take to get the results back?
Yeah. Well, I'm usually on site for 2 hours. I do a visual inspection before I take any tests because for my standard fee I offer 3 tests, and I want to make sure I'm taking them in the right places. So I can do surface testing to determine if something on a surface is mold, or air testing, either to determine if that mold is affecting the air or if you have mold in your carpet or if your house is clean. The air tests take 10 minutes to run. I generally have them back the next day.
Oh, they are quick. Okay,
Yep.
good. So that the results come back quickly, and then you can determine then after you get the assessment or the analysis from Vicki what to do, and that might be where the cost comes in. But it'll help you, right? Whether it's drain tile, whether you have to install a humidifier or you have to put extra landscaping around the outside of your home or vent the pipe for your bathroom exhaust fan through your roof. All those things will help you not only while you're there, but if you ever turn that property or sell that property to someone
or the
else.
damage yet to your house or to your physical body, like you said, with your son, if you're allergic to mold and the health costs and everything. So
And you might not know it, right? I mean, you might not know what's wrong, right?
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
you could be like, I get hay fever, I have asthma, I have this. You don't know it, but there could be a root cause happening right in your own home, maybe where you
Right.
spend 50% of your time at least, in that. So definitely contact Vicki for that. And then the list leads into Ryan Larson with the Anderson Agency about insurance, because we all have questions about that as far as how does insurance handle the M word, the mold word. Ryan, and then tell us about yourself, your company, what you got into it. I know you've been on before, but refresh everybody's memory on that.
Sure. So I'm Ryan Larson with the Anderson Agency. I've been in insurance for about 15 years now. Always personal lines, which means to use home, auto, umbrella insurance, boats, RVs, those kind of things. My company is big into commercial insurance and workers' compensation insurance, but again, I work in personal lines. We have a couple CSRs. We have a person that deals directly with claims. So when you have a situation like we're talking about mold, or we're talking about the storms that happened from June 11th, we touched on that for a little bit. We have somebody in our house that can guide you through this whole process. They'll look at your policy coverage. They'll know different policies through all our companies, how much coverage there automatically is. If you have a question about mold coverage or storm coverage or sewer drain backup coverage, those are the kind of questions that you want to go to your insurance agent with, or call me up, and we can certainly walk you through what you can do to mitigate yourself from any kind of future claim situation. As far as mold goes, that is a tricky one.
Because it depends, right? I mean, there's some clauses on that, of my understanding of insurance. First off, you had a great point there, Ryan. If you're a homeowner, if you're buying a home or you have a home right now, and you have a basement. I was just in a house in Minneapolis, and their sewer line basically is something's wrong, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they had a backup. I don't know if it was due to the heavy rain, combination of that, plus maybe an old line and all this, or tree roots or whatever. But
Right.
they had a backup into the basement. Now, that's something that's not automatically covered. Like everybody assumes, call your insurance agent. They'll pay for new carpet and drywall or whatever you need in the basement. and that's you need a rider for that, correct?
Absolutely. I do have one insurance company where the coverage is automatic. But for your standard companies, it is not automatic coverage. The most I've ever seen is about $5,000 of coverage, which won't even pay. I just had to claim myself. We have 2 sump pumps at our house, and they both. I don't want to swear on the radio. They both were destroyed in the June 11th storm.
Oh, wow.
They could not keep up with how much water we had coming in, so we had to claim ourselves. We do have the extra coverage because I know about it, but most people, they just gloss over it. They don't think that it will apply to them.
And here's what most people do is, and Stephanie knows about TV commercials, and we all watch TV and you see these commercials, you hear these commercials on the radio, and you go to the big company and you go on their website and you say, boom, they got this for $200 less per year than this company.
Right.
But then now you may not be getting in-depth detail of this type of coverage, right? Where you may need this, or maybe you are in an area where you want to have this backup coverage, sewer backup coverage, or storm backup coverage, or whatever. And then you have a situation like you had, some pump goes out or something, you call, oh, sorry, you don't have that. And that's what you don't want to hear. And I'm sure there's probably dozens, if not hundreds of people in the Twin Cities recently that probably had that and are learning the hard way that they needed to have coverage on that.
You're
So
absolutely.
that's a great tip. It's not always the bargain price. Same thing when you go to get a mortgage. It's not always this rate that they plug on the TV.
Right.
You know what I mean? And like, here you go. It's this easy. Go here. There's a lot more to it than just that.
Well, and like you said, too, really understanding your insurance. When we talk to people about that all the time, when they have to go get their policy, is, again, there might be certain nuances in the house or maybe where it's located, but, or people. I think it's probably with car insurance too. People think, oh, my girlfriend just told me her husband, like, guess what? I saved $600 on our insurance. We dropped collision. He totaled his car.
Oh, no.
2 days later.
Yep.
Was texting and driving.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, how's that $600 saving you now, buddy? So
Yeah,
it's like the house thing, like you said. You just kind of people assume that it's all covered, right? So is there like a checklist or something that you have that people are listening that say maybe how do I know if I have this coverage or what should I look for, things like that?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a really good idea to have that checklist. I could certainly come up with one. If somebody wants to give me a call or drop me an email, I could certainly, it maybe 10, 15 items long.
Yeah, what you should, or even what you should be asking your insurance agent.
Absolutely. Yeah,
right?
we do have that one. Yeah.
Okay.
If they call Ryan or they inquire into Anderson Agency and say, hey, here's what I have. I'm doing a checkup on my insurance to see that I'm adequately covered. Do you guys have a way of finding out from the current policy if they have that, or like a storm sewer backup rider, or if they have anything else? Do you look at their current policy?
Absolutely. It's called their declaration pages. We don't necessarily need your whole policy. A insurance policy is maybe 40 pages long. We should have like what's called a declarations page. It should be maybe 1 to 5 pages long, and it'll list out everything that you have covered and how much those coverages are.
Yeah. Another tip, Ryan, and I'm going to speak for you probably on this, but that I've learned is that a lot of times when you get auto insurance quotes, you got to watch out for the liability portion and make sure that you have a high enough amount there, because if you're in an incident or an accident and you have a lower liability amount, which will lower your premium, then it rolls. If there's any claim against you and the insurance burns that up, then it goes to you personally, unless you have an umbrella or something as well. So the more wealth you accumulate or the more assets you accumulate, you got to protect that through larger liability on your auto and also umbrella riders.
Umbrella is probably the best policy you can buy. Umbrella coverage starts at probably $125 a year to protect yourself for $1 million of liability protection. So when you're talking about that accident, texting and driving, if you rear end somebody and really hurt them.
And you're the one guilty.
Correct.
Texting and driving.
Yep.
Not that none of us do that, right, out there? No.
No, yeah. When he totaled his car, I saw the pictures. Like you've got. He did get a ticket at the site too.
Sure.
But the point of that is that the person could have major issues or health issues or back issues or whatever, right? And
Correct. And you can protect yourself for about $125 a year. Really, truly protect yourself for about $1 million.
No. What do you see, Ryan, just quickly, after the storms? You had the date memorized, which I would, insurance agent, I'd expect to memorize that. But after the storms that went through, Are we going to see major carriers or major insurance companies in Minnesota, the rates go up over the next few years to
Good
cover for that?
question, Yeah.
It's a really good question, and I was just thinking about that. So, 2 years ago and a year after that, Brainerd really got hit
Yep.
up in that area with straight line winds.
Straight
It
line
wasn't
winds.
a tornado, and just from our agency alone, I can't remember how many millions of dollars that we paid out in claims just in that one area. And we have one insurance carrier. Well, we have more than one insurance carrier, but the one insurance carrier that really got hit, we haven't seen any real big rate increases. In fact, the last renewal that I saw for one of my clients, their insurance went down by $3 a year. So
Really?
not much money, but I'd rather see a decrease than an increase.
Maybe, yeah, like probably like even with rates, maybe they kind of built in.
Maybe they have that
those
factored in. Yeah,
Factored in
part
already.
of it.
So
Right.
good stuff, Ryan. Thanks
Great
for
information.
sharing.
We'll have Ryan's information on the Stockwell Eldridge Show on Facebook. We'll be back with more and one more segment. Stay tuned, folks.